Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 15th part of What If Deku Was a Magical Girl Mascot. Quirk, Magical Girl Mascot. The author of this great fanfic is Emma Ibely. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 15, Magical Girl Fight. The matches after Tsuyu's were very different, thankfully. The third match, which was between Ida and Hatsum, was interesting. It was one-sided and Ida won. But it wasn't a fight. The thing was that she tricked him by making him think she was making it even and giving him some support gear to use in their match. It turned out she used it as an adverting pitch for her deer, and for 10 minutes she did nothing but advertise until giving up when she ran out of things to show off, much to Ida's anger. Kaminari's fight was, well, pretty one-sided. He ended up going over his limit, becoming an idiot with Shiozaki defeating him. After the match, Monoma once again peeked over. "That was pathetic and you think your class is better," he bragged. Booty once again Kendo knocked him out and apologized. Afterwards was the match between Ashido and Aoyama. Ashido won. She distracted by melting the belt he uses to use his quirk. Also his pants fell off as a result. In the next match it was Yayorozu versus Tokoyami. Tokoyami managed to push out Yayorozu out of bounds while she tried to block him. The match between Kirishima and Tetsutetsu was interesting. The two were too similar. So similar that it ended up in a draw with a double knockout. It was decided that they would be settled with an arm wrestling match after Katsuki and Achiko's fight. And of course that was the match that was next. In Class 1A's box, Izuku wasn't sure what to do. "You're torn," said Ida. "Of course I am," said Izuku. "Just cheer for both of them," said Hagakure. I don't know if I can do that," said Izuku blushing. "Just be happy for whoever wins," said Tsuyu. "I know," sighed Izuku. And soon enough the two competitors got on the battlefield. We have the explosive bombshell of Class 1A Katsuki Bakugo vs the adorable astronaut and my personal favorite Achiko Uraraka, yelled Present Mike. Much of the arena sweat dropped at the blatant sue of favoritism. "Round face. Remember, this isn't just about winning," said Katsuki. Achiko didn't say anything. "But I'm still going to kick your ass," yelled Katsuki. "Seriously?" asked Achiko with a sweat drop. "And begin," yelled Present Mike. Both of them grabbed their necklaces and transformed. "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that both of them are magical girls as well," called out Present Mike. "So this is a battle between magical girls." Aizawa just sighed. Not really because of the fight, but because of the whole having a magical girl mascot as a student still weirded him out. Back on the battlefield, Katsuki immediately summoned her wand and aimed an attack at Achiko. She dodged by flying away, thankfully remaining in bounds. "That's not going to work, round face," said Katsuki. That was when she launched herself into the air with explosions coming from her feet. Achiko could barely dodge as Katsuki aimed an explosion at her. Achiko summoned her own wand while recovering from the explosion. "Shit!" yelled Katsuki as she was forced down to the ground thanks to the heavier gravity. Katsuki managed to get up, but her body was shaking. After all, the gravity was much stronger. She aimed many explosions at Achiko, trying to get her to let her go. Achiko dodged as best as she could. During it, Katsuki smirked. "Oh, I get it," said Katsuki with a smirk. "You can't fly away while you're holding me down." "What makes you think that?" asked Achiko. "You would have done it already," said Katsuki with a smirk. "You have to get better with your wand." Achiko just looked at her opponent, not saying anything. They continued to fight, with Katsuki fighting against the higher than normal gravity and Achiko keep dodging any of her explosions. Achiko took a breath as she finally let Katsuki go. "Are you finally reaching your limit?" asked Katsuki in a tone that somehow both mocking and curious. After all, Katsuki did have limits with her wand too. No, there's a reason why I wasn't flying, said Ochako. Oh really, what? She asked. That was when a pedal hit her shoulder. She looked up and saw that she was using her power to make a bunch of rocks float into the air. Katsuki realized where the rocks came from, all of the debris caused by her explosions. Shit! Yelled Katsuki. Sorry Kaken, said Ochako. She then used her wand to once again increase the gravity for the rocks. She also flew out of the way during the meteor shower. Katsuki knew that she had to unleash one of her bigger explosions. Not the size of the one that obliterated the flood zone, but close. However, the force of the explosion combined with her flying didn't just obliterate the rocks but also knocked Ochako out of bounds. Oh seriously? Said Ochako. Noticed she the boundary. Ochako Uraraka is out of bounds. Katsuki Bakugo is the winner. Called out Midnight. In the stand Izuku side. You were still torn, weren't you? Asked Tsuyu. Yeah, said Izuku. Midoriya. Should you be getting ready for your match? Asked Ida. Oh right, said Izuku. He turned human and left the box. Back on the battlefield, Ochako landed, de-transformed and sighed. Remember, part of the point of the tournament is to get noticed, said Katsuki. I'm sure you got some heroes' attention, if not there's always next year. Ochako pouted a little. All right. We're going to take a break so that we can settle Kirishima and Tetsutetsu match. Called out Midnight. Ochako headed to the waiting room to take a break after the match. That was when Izuku came in. Oh hey, didn't know you were here, said Izuku. Sorry, said Ochako. It's fine, said Izuku. That was an amazing move, by the way. Yeah, said Ochako, but I just had to be facing off against Kaken, she's so strong. Yeah, said Izuku. Ochako looked at Izuku. I don't mean it that way, said Izuku. She's basically your big sister Deku. I know you two are that close, said Ochako. Izuku laughed and then sighed. I'm really worried about my fight though, sighed Izuku. Todoroki is really strong, and he doesn't like my quirk, so I'm sure he'll go all out. I'm sure you'll find, said Ochako. You do have everyone's quirks with you. Though I won't use Tsu's, said Izuku. Yeah, probably not a good idea to use that, said Ochako. Yeah, laughed Izuku. They heard the crowd going wild outside. It sounds like it's almost over, sighed Izuku. Sorry you weren't able to get ready, said Ochako. It's fine. I think you gave me some ideas with your fight, honestly, said Izuku. Ochako nodded, knowing what he meant. Izuku left the waiting room and headed to the battlefield. However, on the way he stopped in his tracks, as he saw a pro hero with red hair and his face covered in flames, including flaming facial hair. It was Endeavor, Todoroki's father. Oh, you're the strange stuffed animal boy I heard about, the one with the Permian copy quirk, said Endeavor. Yeah, said Izuku nervously. Izuku mentally sighed in relief that Endeavor didn't know his true quirk for the moment. You know my son will defeat you, said Endeavor, and when he's done with you and this tournament, he will go on to beat All Might. Once he gets over his rebellious phase. Endeavor began to leave. Izuku glared at him. You know, said Izuku, he's his own person. What? Asked Endeavor. He's not someone you can just live through, said Izuku. There's a reason why he's rebelling against you, and you would realize that. Endeavor glared at Izuku. And of course Izuku immediately started to sweat. And he activated the telepathy. I need help. I'm in a situation, thought Izuku. What's wrong? Asked Inko, becoming. I ran into Endeavor and I might have called him out about some stuff I learned from Todoroki. What? Asked Inko. You should run, said Ochako. I don't think you can stand up against. Yeah, you'd probably die, said Tsuyu. Don't listen to them, blast his fucking face off, added Katsuki. Kaken! Mentally cried Izuku. Endeavor looked at Izuku, who was just standing there. He glared at Izuku and left thinking that Izuku was having a mental breakdown for saying those things to him. And he didn't need a student becoming injured with burns right before facing off against his son. It would look suckeries. Izuku breathed a sigh of relief when he left. What happened? Asked Ochako. I'm pretty sure he left because I was just standing there panicking, explained Izuku. I see, said Inko. By the way, you might need to explain something about what you meant about Todoroki. I have my match, mentally yelled Izuku. Izuku turned off the telepathy and headed to the match. In the flatly box, Inko was concerned. Is everything alright? Asked All Might. It's just something Izuku said about Endeavor, said Inko. He mentioned he learned something about his son. All Might's eyes winded when she said that. What is it? Asked Inko. I ran into Endeavor earlier, said All Might. He said something that deeply concerned me, about how he created his son to one day defeat me. What? Asked Inko. All Might nodded. You don't think something is going on with them? Asked Inko. I have a bad feeling about it, sighed All Might. The arm wrestling match soon ended with Kirishima coming up on top. However, what was next was far more important. After all, Izuku had a plan for the match, and it wasn't really about winning. However, what he and Todoroki didn't know was that the match they were about to have would change everything. Especially for Todoroki. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 16. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.